Hey there, horror fans! Gather round because I've got a spine-tingling yet side-splitting tale for you today. Have I got a spooky yet hilarious tale for you today? It's one of those stories that will make you shiver and chuckle at the same time. It's called The Whispering Shadows, a spooky tale with a twist. In a small, foggy town nestled between dark, ancient woods, there stood the ominous Blackthorn Manor. This mansion had a reputation that sent chills down the spines of even the bravest souls. Locals whispered about a curse. They said the manor was haunted by restless spirits who had met untimely ends within its walls. They said at midnight shadowy figures would appear in the windows, whispering eerie secrets to anyone brave or foolish enough to listen. These whispers were said to drive people mad, filling their minds with dark thoughts and terrifying visions. No one had set foot inside for decades, until Jake, a bold teenager, decided to spend the night there on a dare. Jake was known for his fearless nature, always up for a challenge, no matter how dangerous or foolish it seemed. Jake arrived just as the sun dipped below the horizon. The sky was painted in hues of orange and purple, casting an eerie glow over the manor. The air grew colder and the wind howled through the cracked windows. It was as if the house itself was warning him to stay away. He lit a candle and ventured inside, his footsteps echoing through the empty halls. The flickering light cast long dancing shadows on the walls, making the place seem even more alive. The walls were covered in peeling wallpaper and the floorboards creaked with every step. It was as if the house was groaning under the weight of its dark history. As the clock struck midnight, Jake began to hear it. Soft, indistinct whispers coming from the shadows. They seemed to be calling his name, beckoning him deeper into the house. "Who's there?" Jake called out, his voice trembling. The only response was the growing intensity of the whispers. The whispers grew louder, more urgent. They seemed to be coming from all directions, surrounding him. Shadows began to move on their own, swirling around him like smoke. They twisted and turned, forming shapes that were both mesmerizing and terrifying. Jake's heart raced as the whispers turned into voices, each one more menacing than the last. They spoke of dark deeds and hidden secrets, things that no one should ever know. "Leave all, join us forever," the voices hissed. The threat was clear, and Jake felt a cold sweat break out on his forehead. Jake stumbled backward, tripping over a broken chair. He fell to the ground, his candle flickering dangerously. He dropped his candle and the room plunged into darkness. The whispers became a cacophony and the shadows closed in around him. The whispers became deafening and the shadows closed in around him. Jake felt as if he was being suffocated by the darkness. Just as he thought he was done for, he heard a new voice, a loud, cheerful voice. It cut through the darkness like a beacon of hope. "Hey, what are you doing in my house?" Jake froze. The shadows stopped moving. The whispers fell silent. It was as if someone had flipped a switch. A light flicked on, revealing a short, elderly man in a bathrobe and slippers holding a flashlight. He looked more annoyed than terrifying. His face was wrinkled with irritation, not malice. Your house?" Jake stammered. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. "Yeah, my house! I've lived here for 40 years. Who do you think keeps the lawn mowed? You kids and your ghost stories. I swear I can't get a decent night's sleep with all the sneaking around." The old man's voice was filled with exasperation. Jake blinked. But the shadows, the whispers. He was still trying to process what was happening. The old man sighed. "That's just my surround sound system. I like to listen to audiobooks at night. It helps me sleep. I like to listen to audiobooks at night. You must have heard my Stephen King collection." The old man chuckled as if it was the most obvious thing in the world. "You must have heard my Stephen King collection." The old man chuckled as if it was the most obvious thing in the world. "Now get out of here before I call your parents." The old man's voice was stern, but there was a hint of amusement in his eyes. Jake didn't need to be told twice. He bolted out of the house, his heart still pounding in his chest. He bolted out of the house, never to return. The experience had shaken him to his core. And from that day on, the townsfolk stopped telling ghost stories about Blackthorn Manor, mostly because they didn't want to deal with the cranky old man who lived there. The legend of the haunted house was replaced by the tale of the grumpy old man and his love for audiobooks. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, not all spooky tales end in terror. Some end with a good laugh. Let me know if you want more spooky, funny tales. Until next time, stay spooky.